Good morning, everyone. The time being 9:02 a.m. on Wednesday, January 28th, I'd like to call the Kane County Finance and Budget Committee meeting to order. Savannah, please do the roll.
Juby? Here. Lewis?
Lewis remote, if okay.
Penesis?
Penesis here, remote.
Surges?
Deputy here.
Sanchez?
Sanchez present.
Leonard?
Leonard here.
In-person quorum?
And we have a quorum. Thank you very much. For remote attendance, Ms. Lewis and Mr. Penesis would like to attend. Ms. Lewis, would you also like the ability to vote on these matters we're discussing today?
Yes, please.
Okay, she has a qualified reason for not attending and being here remotely, so I'd like to have Ms. Lewis approved with voting rights. Mr. Penesis unfortunately does not have a qualification to vote, so we would just like to let him come into the meeting and observe. Any questions, objections, concerns?
Sure.
Seeing none, I think we're all set on that. I now need a motion for unanimous consent for the approval of the minutes of December 23rd, 2025.
Sanchez asked for unanimous consent to approve the minutes.
Any objections? Seeing none, the minutes are approved. Thank you, Mr. Sanchez. Under public comment, we have one individual, Steve Leffler.
Morning, everybody. Hope you're all having a great day. Just want to put everybody on notice. You're on the clock. We need to get a budget done sooner than November. So let's start putting it together and get our negotiations done sooner rather than later. My understanding is there's maybe even a bigger hill to climb than we did last year. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Leffler. I'm moving on to our treasurer, Mr. Lawson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee and the public. In December, we made just under $1.5 million of return on the bank balances. And then Blair, if you wouldn't mind pulling up page 35. And basically in my report, my written report, pages 35, 36, 38, and 41 basically go together, which is the importance of getting the bills out on time. Comment was made in the last finance meeting about Cook County process, and Maria Pappas is a strong, smart lady. I've known her for 15, 20 years, and she's a highly competent public administrator. But Cook County is not the standard of execution that we would use here in Kane County because the tax bills did not get out on time. Many different reasons were given. It's important for us to know where trouble can come from and then to avoid it. It's a complicated process. Some people, when you read the report, say that, well, it's Tyler systems. Well, we have Tyler systems. We've gone through a tough transition in the court system that was done with Roger Fonstock. I think that one of the human resources that we have that perhaps Cook County didn't have was Roger Fonstock. The assessor, Mr. Kagi, a highly smart person. And again, we're looking for the things that we have to avoid in the process. In our case, supervisor of assessments, Mark Armstrong, I think is the best I've ever seen nationwide in the business. I think that we're also very fortunate to have Jack Cunningham and John Emerson when it comes to the extension. And something that Mark Armstrong says consistently is that he does not see people working together in various counties around the state. Ours is a very easy, smooth running relationship. So, and then finally, I think most importantly from my standpoint is that our frontline staff knowledgeable, and when they're knowledgeable in the process, I treasure the 29, 30 years of experience that several of our folks have, and then the hardworking ethic that other members of the staff. One of the things that stands out in the office is that when taxpayers come in, they're treated respectfully and with kindness, actually. So the second one, page 43, again, in environment, there's a lot of talk about, well, where are interest rates going to be going? Interest income, the rates, as everyone knows, are going down. It says, let's see, possibility are, this comes from people who have an incentive to tell you that interest rates are going to go way down because they sell bonds and they want you to buy now rather than later. However, the statistics, generally speaking, have supported, the interest rates have been going down. And what they ask is a question that I think all board members and certainly in the treasurer's office, we have to ask, are we prepared for the possibility of a 2% Fed rate world? And then finally, page 44 through 47 has to do with the inflation rate that has a big impact on interest rates. In the report, there are several different charts that show the composition. This one shows the composition, the component parts of inflation historically. Obviously, the conclusion, it got to a high of 9.1. Generally, the peak was 8.5%. It's now, the rate is still going up, but it's 2.7%. And then Blair, final slide is page 47. This correspondence came out from the Illinois Department of Revenue confirming those reports of the 2.6, 2.7% inflation. So that's all I have for today.
Thank you, Mr. Lawson. Any questions for him? Ms. Juby?
I just have one question on page 26, when it's the summary under the investment policy, and it says the county recently reviewed this investment policy, and they suggest it's either reviewed and adopted annually or biannually. You're in this instance, the county is actually the treasurer's office, correct?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Yes, very good.
Mr. Gripe?
Just about the interest rates, that I think it's a very good thing for us to start thinking about, because there's a government directed purchase by Fannie Mae of 200 billion of collateralized mortgage obligations, which is a long-winded way of saying that that's going to push, it's a good thing for home buyers. It's going to push those rates down, but with those, the Fed funds rate will probably also drop, which is where we're going to get to a 3 or 2% number on money we can earn, which is a big deal. Every 1%, I don't know, Chris, you might know what it does, but it's something to consider in our projections for this year.
Good point, Mr. Gripe. Mr. Lawson, I do have one question for you. I was very happy to hear the interest earned in December was just under 1.5 million. I know for the projection for this year, our fiscal year 2026, you are predicting about 10 million, I believe, in interest. Do you think there's any chance that might be a little bit higher? Because I know many of your investments are tied to an interest rate of 4% or maybe a little bit more over a number of period of years. And I know the balance that we have is going down, but I don't know that it's going down enough that it will bring our interest earned for the year down to 10 million. So I was just wondering if you had any thoughts on that.
I do. First of all, the projection is $10 to $12 million for this year. I still have an aspirational goal of $20 million, as one of the charts indicate in my report. When you do just the back of the envelope, if we were to go out for a beer and talk about interest rates and interest earnings, if you take $300 million, which on page 8, you have the listing of our investments, it's about 315 million. It's decreasing each month as we use up reserves, but 300 million times the 4% that we're at approximately, that gives you the $12 million. So in rough numbers, that's how I get to the 10 to 12, rough numbers.
So you're very comfortable with that projection?
The 10 to 12, yes. I'm going to pull out all the stops to see if we can generate solutions to budget problems by generating more.
Okay, great. Well, thank you very much for all the good work you do there and all the interest you're bringing into Kane County. Any other comments for Mr. Lawson? Seeing none, we'll move on to the auditor, Ms. Weigman.
Hello, good morning. On my report that was submitted, the main thing that we would like to make you aware of is the mileage change for 2026 went up from 70 cents to 72.5 cents. So that's a highlight of my report and can address any questions.
Any questions for Ms. Weigman? Seeing none, thank you very much. Moving on to our resolutions. Our first resolution today is approving December 2025 claims paid of $29,557,228.59. I need a motion and a second to approve.
moves. Seconds.
Mr. Lindner moves, Mr. Sanchez seconds. Any questions, concerns, comments on this? Seeing none, please do the roll, Savannah.
Juby,
I.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Surges,
Yes.
Tepe,
yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes. Resolution's approved. Thank you very much. Our next resolution is approving a personal expense voucher reimbursement request in the amount of $357.17 from an employee in the county. And this is over 60 days old. But I need a motion and a second to approve, to discuss and approve this.
Tepe moves. Sanchez, seconds.
Mr. Tepe moves, Mr. Sanchez seconds. Any questions on this? Seeing none, Savannah, please do the roll.
Juby,
I.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Surges,
Yes.
Tepe,
yes.
Sanchez, Leonard.
Or yes. Resolution's approved. Thank you very much. Moving on to the Finance Director's report, Ms. Hopkinson.
Hello. Before I get to the slides, just wanted to highlight a few things that are going on in the finance department right now. Mostly these are compliance type issues. The W-2s are done, they're printed, they're uploaded to all employee eSuite accounts. So the employees should be able to go in this morning and get a copy of their W-2. We do mail the hard copies as well. They will be dropped at the post office today. The W-2s also now include overtime, which is the new federal law. We were able to get that onto the W-2 form. So for those that have overtime, you'll see that in a box. Next year, there'll be a separate box for it. The 1099s, which are IRS informational reporting forms that we have to mail out to vendors and to the IRS every year. They're also due at the end of this month. They are completed, printed, and in envelopes. We will drop them in the mail today. The next year, just for those who are interested and know about 1099s, for probably my whole career, the reporting amount has been any amount over $600. Beginning with calendar year 2026, the IRS is raising that to $2,000 for most of the 1099s. And then it's tied to inflation, so it'll go up every year, which is an amazing change. One of the reasons why we got ahead of 1099s, we overhauled internally the 1099 process this year. We started in fall. And just thank you and kudos to the key staff involved in getting ahead, reviewing everything early. This year was probably the calmest year so far in getting 1099s done. All of our bank reconciliations are done, and not only the treasurer's account, but also all the custodial accounts. We have 25 custodial accounts across the county that are maintained by various offices and elected officials, and all the related transactions and interest earned is all posted. It's January. We were still posting some of this stuff in May last year. So we have invested tremendous hours over the summer and fall, working with everybody across the county, and everybody's just been terrific. And it's done. Our audit kicked off last week. Our auditors were here on site. The audit is due by May 31st. I don't see any reason why we can't get it done on time. Two other highlights, just in the payroll department. Our payroll department assisted HR this year with the conversion of our benefits administration. It used to be outsourced. It's now brought in-house. That's all up and running. And our payroll staff help with recoding everything to bring all those transactions in-house. And then lastly, it's really exciting for those of us who work in the finance department, but we have our first live set of automated PAF forms in queue in New World, which we've been working on for probably 2 years. And our goal is that by the end of the year, all the triplicate paper forms that are sent around the county for employee new hires, terminations, rate changes, position changes, that we will be able to have all of that automated, probably except for the terminations because they're so complicated, and the new hires. But all the rate changes, all the position changes, we'll now be able to see it in the computer instead of paper being shuffled all over the county. It's going to save us a lot of time. But thank you to IT who's been working with us too on this. It's been a lot of work. Okay, slides. So we're pretty much done with posting for 2025. There might be a few accruals. We're scanning everything, but all transactions were required to be in by all the offices and departments 2 weeks ago. So, but there's always something that comes and we have to post an accrual, but this should be pretty close. So we're ending, and our highlight is the general fund. So we're ending 2025 with using approximately 18.5 million in reserves. We had budgeted to use 27.2 in reserves. It's still a use of reserves, which is not where we want to be, but it's a lot less. What are some of the key factors for that on the revenue side? So our revenues were 3% higher and our expenses were 4% less than budgeted, which is how we came out of better. So the key revenue items, again, that were better than expected were charges for services, which are a lot of the fees that are collected in the county clerk's and recorder's office. The licenses and permits, the fine revenue was also 10% higher than expected. The other tax revenue, which includes sales tax revenue, was slightly higher, but it's a big number. And then reimbursement revenue, again, this is mainly the court services office. They were able to get more from the state of Illinois Office of Administrative Office of Courts. And our reimbursements were significantly higher than expected. On the expense side, primarily the area where we were under that had a big impact was on salaries and wages. So we had some key offices mentioned there that came in under budget on salaries. I also put up the 2026 amended budget for comparative purposes, so you can see where we came out on the general fund actual and what we're striving to achieve for 2026. So next slide. I've got 2 of these charts this week. You're familiar with seeing this one. I have a second one that just so you can see the current year information better. But we are just, in terms of managing our reserves, we are the 2 green sections of those bars on this graph represent the unrestricted reserves in the general fund. So we have sufficient reserves above 90 days. We do have our unrestricted reserves in two separate funds. We don't have to, but we do. And the one fund, which is called the general fund general account, is the darker green there. That's where all the transaction data, all of the receipts and disbursements, the salaries, everything, it rolls through that account. It rolls through. So we're just at the 90-day reserve amount in those two accounts, but the lighter green is still general fund revenue. It's essentially, it's called this general fund special reserve account. It's money that's essentially just, it's not budgeted. It is earning interest. That's the only activity in that account. So next slide, just so you can see it a little clearly, more clearly. I just blew the last few years up so you can see where those lines are. Next slide. Where we're ending up, all of our tax revenue has been posted now for fiscal 25. Our actual, this is all funds, not just the general fund. So for all funds, what we call the other tax revenue, which is not including property tax revenue, we came in at 72 million. Last year it was 67 million. We had expected 70.6 million. So about $1.5 million over what we expected for 2025. Primarily, it's the sales tax revenues, both the state sales tax and the RTA sales tax. Next slide. This is a summary of all funds across the county, not just the general fund, but all funds by department. So our 25 amended budget was about 404 million. We spent 305 million, subject to change. I don't think by much. I think these are pretty close to final, barring some last minute accruals. So the difference there was almost $100 million. Primarily, the big difference was in transportation, a lot of the capital budgeting, and then that department it's Department 800 called Other Countywide Expenses. That's where our capital projects fund, our facilities fund, all those sorts of projects, and a lot of the ARPA projects were budgeted out of that fund. So that came in a little bit less than expected. So next slide. And this is the same type of report, but this is just for the general fund. And our budget was 144. And this number might be a little different than the previous slide in terms of the actual, because I prepared this one yesterday and the other ones that I put in the packet last week. I think it's off a couple $100,000 just as we finalize some numbers. But the actual amount is about 5 million less than the amended budget for 2025. And just for comparative purposes, I put up the 2026 amended budget. And again, it's essentially, we have to strive to, we just finished a year where we spent 139 million in our general fund, and our goal for 2026 is to spend 130. So 9 million less. And you can see that by department. Next slide. And that's it. Any questions?
Any questions for Ms. Hopkinson? Mr. Surges?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Kathy, these aren't specific to the reports that you just gave. The meeting that we sat in last night, I don't know if you participated in the COW yesterday. Bill, do you have any idea, does that legislation that came out saying we need to change all of this electronic data, does that come with do we have a budget expense item for that that's anticipated?
I don't know. I do not have an
Little
answer to
bucket,
that.
great big huge bucket. Do we have any, did anybody catch that yesterday? John, did you? I just didn't write down, I meant to write down a figure and I couldn't grasp it. Okay. The second thing, Kathy, and Bill, I came under fire the other day about the building in Elgin, which quite honestly, I couldn't be prouder of. I'm so happy with that purchase and everything we've set out to do, but somebody used the term scope creep on it, saying, I know that you had a goal of doing something that was worthy and noble, but you're allowing it to get just way too big and out of control. And I said, I'm sorry, I'm kind of at a loss at that. We were presented with a host of options. We did what we felt was the right thing. We have enough space to grow into for years at a reasonable cost, and nobody has a gun to our head saying, you need to build all that out tomorrow. We're going to grow into it. So my question is, do we have a financial plan for that structure, for that building that kind of says, this is the totality, and this is, we're going to eat that elephant one bite at a time. This is the first bite. And, how are we monitoring whether we're in track, staying within budget, we're reaching the goal that we had set out to do? I was really caught off guard because I thought it was a wild success and I was getting punched in the nose, and I said, I don't have any documentation to refute that. Which kind of speaks to, I don't have a management tool to judge it by. So I'm just reaching out. I'm not looking for an answer. I'm reaching out that maybe we can go offline a little bit and just come up with something that says, this truly was what the board, 24-member board, approved. This is the direction it's going, and these are the checkpoints or the watershed moments within that building that something that we can just gauge the success by.
I think it's a great suggestion, Ms. Hopkinson.
Yeah, that's no problem. I'll work with Roger on that.
Thank you.
Mr. Gripe.
Mr. Chair, along with what Mr. Surges was saying, I think a key part of that would be the income sources possible from the departments that are benefiting from the health department's building, and what they're going to be charged and when that rent or whatever you want to call it will be due. I think that's an important thing to make that building really successful, is having everybody that's using it paying for it.
Mr. Roth.
In the last admin meeting, there was a big discussion on that. And some of the questions I asked were what Mr. Gripe just mentioned. We got the county clerk, court services, the coroner, the sheriff, are all going to be sharing costs. I think we need to review that, make sure it stays on track, because that lowers the cost of what, and public health is paying it out of their public health account, right? Not out of general funds. And they're looking to do improvements, and there again, it's out of one of their restricted funds. Now if they blow the whole wad and then they have no money left, then that will become an issue. But I think they know what.
If I may, I'm just looking for the baseline document.
Right.
That if this is the plan going forward, I don't have that plan.
Right. And I don't
think
think,
a whole lot of good intentions, but I don't have the plan. So
right. I don't think
And
they
I'm-
have the numbers, but that was the discussion. And what Kathy, I heard her to say, is she'll work with Roger to get those numbers. And then,
doesn't seem I'm the only person asking the
No.
question.
yeah,
so.
no.
In fact, we have Roger online and Michael Isaacson. So if either of them would like to comment on this, feel free to. If not,
And I
we'll
don't, I'm
move
not
on.
looking to anything right now.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, this is Michael. We're happy to work and provide ongoing updates with not only the plan, but progress along the way to keep the board informed. So
That
absolutely,
would be
I'll work
great.
with Roger to pull that together.
That would be perfect. And I think both Mr. Surges and Mr. Gripe, their concerns are very valid, and information is so important to us, especially when we are brought up with questions by the public to have answers to them. So thank you very much. I appreciate your help on that, Mr. Isaacson. Ms. Bates?
I know this may be an answer we won't know till October, November, but if we know that we need to cut $9 million out of the budget, is there a plan for how to do that, or a concept for a plan?
We have not come up with a plan for our cut for 27 yet. We have for 26, and we're cutting 9 million this year.
Mhm,
And that plan is in effect right now.
mhm. Okay. We better get cutting.
We are already doing it.
Okay.
And if you take a look at 25 and you see that the expenses were down compared to what was
Yeah.
budgeted, you can see that it's already being implemented.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Mr. Gray?
Sorry, going back a little bit, I think it's on page, give me a second here. Shoot. Yes, page 205. Blair, if you could bring that up. I was just curious, under the interest revenue on the general fund is obviously off 18%, which is big because the general fund balance was lower than expected. But there's a significant amount of interest that's coming off of the general fund, maybe not what we'd like, but so I was just curious, what happens with that money? Who can get at it? The interest that is.
It's a revenue source that is helping to fund the expenses out of that fund.
Okay, so it just pours back in and, okay.
Any other questions or comments or concerns? Ms. Hopkinson, thank you very much. If you don't mind, I'm going to handle the next resolution, which is under your area. We have a resolution that we were going to discuss and possibly approve, and that resolution is 25-1559. It's on page 375. It's the resolution authorizing a revision to the Kane County Financial Policies Travel Policy. Unfortunately, there's been a change made through the Human Services Department to this wording. And what we would like to do is table it at this meeting and then bring it up for a vote at executive and then county board. I know this is creating a little bit of a concern on the auditor's part, and I apologize for that. But unfortunately, we really don't have the capability to handle this resolution at this time. We want to get the wording correct and implemented and then approved at executive. And then, of course, at the county board meeting, it will be approved. So I'd like to table that. I need a motion, a second on that.
Surges moves.
Just a point of order, do we need to call it up at all, or can it just be brought up at executive?
That's a good,
'Cause if we table it here, it kind of stays here.
well, if we table it here, we can still bring a new resolution up at executive. So shouldn't be a problem. Is that correct, Mr. Franks?
You can literally do almost anything on this one. If it fails for lack of a second, because obviously we have a first or a withdrawal of the first and there's no motion, it dies here. But you, Madam Chair, can always bring up an exec or county board through her own rights. The only way to force it to exec is to have it approved through here.
Okay, great. I think that's what we'll do. We don't have a second. And Madam Chair has just given me a thumbs up that she will put that on the executive committee. So we'll move forward in that direction.
And Mr. Chair, Surges, and we have advanced ours through we've asked Madam, you have that. We can modify that into one document if that's kind of where you're going here.
Ideally, that would
Yeah,
be great.
okay.
Thank you. So anyhow, we are not moving forward on that resolution. What's going to be revised and resubmitted through Madam Chair at the executive committee meeting for discussion and approval. The next order of business is our new business, and we have 16 items to discuss and approve, hopefully. And the very first resolution is 26-091. And this is a resolution approving county board personal expense voucher in the amount of $256.20. I need a motion, a second to approve.
Juby moves.
Sanchez seconds.
Ms. Juby moves, Mr. Sanchez seconds. Any questions, concerns, comments? Seeing none, Savannah, please do the roll on this.
Juby,
Aye.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Surges,
Yes.
Tepe,
Deputy, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes. Resolution's approved. Thank you very much. Moving on to our next resolution, which is 26-004. This is a resolution approving a county board personal expense voucher in the amount of $13.50. I need a motion and second to approve.
Sanchez moves.
Sanchez moves.
Lewis seconds.
Lewis seconds. Any questions, discussions? Ms. Juby first and Mr. Gripe.
I noticed that this is to attend a press conference. Madam Chair, were you part of the press conference?
Yes,
So
It
you're on
was
the
it.
dais with the,
I was in transportation, yes.
Mr. Gripe?
I love looking at things to whether or not they should or shouldn't be paid, but I mean, if somebody submitted a 12-cent reimbursement request, I wouldn't, but if somebody did, does the committee look at those, or is there a dollar amount at which we say we're adults, we should manage our money better? What?
It's a great question. When I saw this amount of $13.50, I thought, why are we wasting time on such a small amount? But unfortunately, because of the way the ordinances are written, we do have to approve any expense voucher from any employee in the county. So I guess, yes, if it were 12 cents, we'd still have to review it and approve it. I would like to change that if we could, and maybe we can do that down the road, but not at this meeting.
Okay.
Mr. Linder?
I'd like to ask Mr. Gripe what you can do for 12 cents.
I don't know, somebody bought some bubble gum or something that had county purpose behind it.
So bubble.
One piece. I just think that at some point, we need to trust the people that are here. So, I'm. to
Yeah,
work that
I
in
think it would
later.
be very nice if we could put yes, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. I would welcome the opportunity to have a travel allowance as part, for minimal costs like this. I would not have to bring it up. It is prevalent in many other counties to allow that to happen. So I bring it forward as appropriate. And as you know, as you travel around the county, which sometimes for me is quite a bit, I'm not allowed to put mileage on any of that. So I do eat all of that willingly, not eat it, but I just pay for it. But when I go out of the county for official business, so you know.
Mr. Franks?
You could delegate this. I think part of the issue is obviously within the county board, there's been some consternation a little bit about who approves what over you all.
Mhm.
I think when you get to this level of a number, it's probably worthwhile for you to think about a delegation. I think when you were talking, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 trips, I think that makes sense. That's a fundamental choice by the board to send somebody there or not. On some of these kind of things, I think you could delegate it to either the auditor's office or, the finance director, however you'd like to do it. But that's completely possible within the legal realm that you have for you.
Good. I think that's a good solution, Mr. Gripe.
I agree with Mr. Frank, of course, he's always right. But I think what might be good is an annual number. So whether it's board members or Madam Chair, whomever we include in this, that I can spend up to X. So what that would prevent is somebody, let's say it was $150, that I could spend $150 every 2 days. And if that's under the number, I can get away with it. But I'd like to see an annual number and say, rock and roll, do what you want up to whatever that annual number is. Then we start auditing and looking at stuff. Not that we wouldn't at all, but.
I think it's a valid concern. I would like to talk to Mr. Franks after the meeting and find out what best way we can implement this type of a new procedure so that we're not dealing with very small amounts anymore. Seeing no other questions, I need a vote on this.
Juby?
Juby, aye.
Lewis?
Lewis, yes.
Sturgis?
Yes.
Tepe?
Tepe, yes.
Sanchez? Leonard?
Leonard, yes. Our next resolution is 26-092. This is a resolution approving county board personal expense voucher in the amount of $508.28. Need a motion, a second.
Sanchez moves.
Lewis seconds.
Mr. Sanchez moves, Ms. Lewis seconds. Any questions, Ms. Juby?
Clarification, on some of these reimbursements, we get reimbursed from the 719 or wherever we are on Batavia Avenue. And this one actually has a home address. I thought we were only allowed to be reimbursed from our place of work to wherever we went. So I don't know if we're doing it. I mean, if we're doing it this way, we need to do it this way across the board, and we're not. I've seen it both ways, and I just want to know which way is the way we're supposed to be doing it.
I don't know, Mr. Franks, do you have an answer to that?
I do.
I will defer to whoever kind of oversees the financial policies on this, but traditionally speaking, like legally speaking, it's usually the shorter of the two. So I've seen that in private companies, stuff like that. It's always going to be the shorter of the two. So I will leave that to either the auditor or the finance director to give you a definitive answer, but that would be my at least suspicion.
Ms. Hopkinson, and then we'll go to Mr. Gripe.
I mean, typically when vendors are set up at the county, if employees are receiving reimbursements directly, it's to their home address. That's typically.
We just need to make sure we do that
Consistent.
uniformly because
Yes.
we haven't been. I remember some that got kicked back last year because they were from a home address. Now, it might be because it was farther away. I don't know, but I just think we need to have a uniform policy.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And we will work on that. And through the state's attorney's office, we'll get a change made to that so that we have a consistent policy on every expense from its origination to destination, whether it be home or work or whatever. Any other? Yes, Madam Chair.
Hi, just clarification. If you're catching a plane for a conference, chances are you're not going to be coming here. If you're catching, if it's less expensive for the county to have somebody, an Uber, pick you up to take you to the airport rather than keeping your car here and having an Uber pick you up from here and letting your car stay here for however many days you're gone, or driving yourself to the parking garage at the airport, even if it's long-term, for a series of days. Sometimes it's cost effective to go from your home to the airport, directly to the airport, rather than park your car at the terminal parking lot, or leaving your car here for a period of time.
And that's totally understood and agreed upon. I think we just need to set up a consistent policy on this so that each and every travel expense is recorded the same way. Mr. Gripe?
Just as input, the IRS, from a commuting standpoint, the IRS will not allow reimbursement from your home to the first appointment the day, whether it's here or anywhere else. That doesn't mean you can't go to the airport, that kind of thing, and parking and whatnot. But your mileage would start from, if you came here, if this was your office, from here to the next appointments and wherever coming back. But again, not to your home, returning home at the end of the day.
Not your commute.
Right.
Thank you very much. In fact, I think this is a subject matter that we need to get some expertise on from the state's attorney's office and then create a policy that is consistent for everyone and also consistent with any IRS rules. Any other questions or comments on this expense? Seeing none, Savannah, excuse me, Mr. Pennis has had a question.
Well, I did, but after what Mr. Gripe said, I'm not sure that it's actually accurate. But what I was thinking was, why not just set up a system if you're going to be leaving from home, or if you're going to be meeting someone, you know, at the county offices, why lie about it? Why not just say, I left from home? I mean, the difference in the cost is going to be really minimal. You know, we're all pretty close to the county building. I mean, there may be a couple dollars difference if you're claiming it to come from the county, for example, if you live in where Anita lives, you know, out in Aurora. But, you know, if you're heading to Springfield or whatever. But I think why not just keep it lawful and just say, hey, I left from my house, as opposed to saying, no, I didn't really leave from my house. I left from the county building. That's just my thought, but I'm not sure after what Mr. Gripe said that would be legal either.
It's a good point, Mr. Pennis. Thank you. We will take that under consideration, make sure that we get a policy instituted that covers all our concerns here today and any other concerns we may not have voiced. Seeing no other questions or comments on this, Savannah, please do roll on this.
Juby,
Aye.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Sturgis,
Yes.
Tepe,
Yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Leonard.
Yes. Thank you very much. Resolution is approved. Next resolution is 26-041. This is a resolution authorizing the creation of a program training specialist position in the Workforce Development Department funded through the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. This is a grant and it is in the range of $38,716 to $53,074. I need a motion and a second to discuss and approve.
Surges, Sanchez seconds.
Mr. Surges moves, Mr. Sanchez seconds. Any questions on this? Yes, Mr. Roth.
Just for clarification, this is not out of general funds, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, then, thank you.
Anything else? Seeing none, Savannah, please do the roll on this.
Juby,
Reby, aye.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Surges,
Yes.
Tepe,
yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes. Resolution's approved. Thank you very much. Moving on to our next resolution, which is 26-048. This resolution is authorizing the creation of a senior staff accountant position in the Workforce Development Department funded through the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. Once again, this is a grant. It's not coming out of the general fund, and the range for this position is somewhere between $53,927 and $80,891. I need a motion, a second. Surges moves.
Deputy second.
Mr. Tepe seconds. Any questions? Yes, Mr. Surges.
My only concern when we do these, Bill, is that how long is the grant for? And if we're creating the position that's anticipated to go beyond the grant, are we creating that position as an employment contract that has a definitive timeline tied to the grant? Or are we just using the short-term money to fund it? And when that runs out, we're still on the hook for whatever increase we just did. And I understand this is workforce development and,
Yes.
somewhat different grounds, but it's the same
It-
philosophical.
It's a realistic concern. Madam Chair, did you want to say something?
Oh, yes, thank you. For workforce, the grants are usually for a 3-year period.
Okay.
And then they're renewed. And this kind of position is mandated by the state of Illinois. They're encouraging us to increase the accounting staff so that we can be in compliant with a rather large budget. So that's the reason for this one. But these positions are getting renewed every 3 years with the accounting.
So more specifically, Mr. Surges, with the 3-year grant, this is funded for 3 years. At the end of the 3 years, we as a finance committee and the Workforce Development Board will have to decide whether or not they can fund it if there's no grant or get the grant renewed. If they don't get the grant renewed, that position could be eliminated. That's a decision made by the Workforce Development Board.
Bill, I would just challenge that. At least I'm not aware that we have a running total of those positions across the county that say we approved it out of this committee or through this board saying hunky dory because the grant came in. I'm not aware of a list that says, oh, by the way, this one's coming up for renewal and we did or didn't now, but we still have that position or individual. And I don't have any idea how we're keeping track of that.
Yeah, I mean, that would be somewhat cumbersome to do it. It could be done.
Agreed.
However, if this is a mandated position,
I get it.
they're going to have to continue it with or without the grant. But this grant is for 3 years. So in 3 years, if it's renewed, great. If it isn't, then we'll have to address that situation.
Mechanism in this conversation being the renewal of the grant, not the termination of the employment position. So, how are we, does each department just willy-nilly try and keep track of that? Or do we, in New World, do we have some mechanism by which, hey, by the way, remember, this was here's our grants and these are the ones coming up for, 2026 and here's the deadlines and somebody should be working on them. And you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand totally.
And I don't have an answer for that. I'm
No.
just
And I think one of the things we have to realize too, some of these positions that are granted are mandated by the state. We don't have an option. Others are not mandated. So it depends upon whether it's mandated. There's a lot of considerations we have to put into Mr. Roth, did you have any
Um,
comments?
Mr. Sanchez is on the committee. He had his hand raised
Oh,
first or same time.
whatever works.
Go ahead.
Sanchez, I know from my knowledge and understanding, Cliff, once the grants are over, the positions are done, and it's usually the department head that monitors these things. I don't believe in New World, there's a designation for all of these positions. Now, if somebody the grant is over and they wanted to keep that employee, they'd have to do a budget adjustment. They would have to hire them. And, typically we do try to keep good employees if we can. But they would still have to go through the hiring process. It wouldn't just be an automatic. We have a new position now that's coming out of the general fund that would require board approval. So there are a few different fail safes in place to keep from happening. I think what you're concerned about.
Yeah, I just think with Mr. Linder and I on that committee, we've never had this conversation that I'm aware of. Yeah.
No, I don't think we have. I did speak with, I don't want to put somebody on the spot here, but I did speak with director of one of the larger departments. And they informed me that those employees that are hired under a grant are informed up front that this is a grant and that the position is dependent upon grant renewal. That's not to say that if the grant isn't renewed, they don't try to find a place for that person if that person's somebody we want to keep. But the department head is fully aware of what grants are funding employees and whether they're being renewed, whether there's a new grant or renewal of the old one. That department head at least is fully aware of what's going on and accountable for it.
I would just think that within this committee is probably a prudent place to have that conversation about totality of.
And, we could ask all the department heads and elected officials to give us a listing of all the grant positions in their departments
And the dates.
so that we have that and whether or not this is a mandated position or not. So I think there are some ways to come to the solution. Maybe at this point, though, we're going to move ahead if that's all right with everybody else. Mr. Roth?
I just wanted to state, this was actually discussed in the finance meeting last May 2nd as a concern. We currently don't have a process. Everyone says they come in, yeah, it's funded and it'll go away, but is that really happening? And that was one of the concerns we discussed then. We don't have a process to confirm that.
Yeah, we can
And
improve
that's,
upon
and
that,
that's what we
Mr.
need to
Tepe.
do.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to point out that we've got jurisdiction only over the departments, not over the electeds. So
And
you
that,
know, a lot of them have grant positions too. So
Yeah, it's, there are a number of considerations we have to make here.
Right.
And they don't apply to everyone. So I think that's the point well taken, Mr. Tepe. What I'd like to do now is take a vote on this resolution.
Juby,
Juby, I.
Lewis. Miss Lewis. Oh, she dropped off. Okay. Surges,
Yes.
Tepe,
yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes. Resolution is approved. Thank you very much. Moving on to our next resolution, which is 26-022. This is a resolution authorizing a budget adjustment to appropriate remaining grant funds from the coroner's office fiscal year 25 budget to the 26 budget in the amount of $48,235. And this appropriation amount is being applied to supplies and equipment. Need a motion and a second?
Sturgis moves.
Sanchez seconds.
Any questions, concerns, comments? Seeing none, Savannah, please do the roll on this.
Juby,
Juby, I.
Surges.
Aye.
Tepe,
yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes. Resolution is approved. Thank you very much. Our next resolution is 26-023. This resolution is authorizing a budget adjustment to reclassify budgeted fiscal year 26 grant funds. The amount is $500,000, and this is being reclassified into capital assets. Need a motion and a second on this?
Sanchez moves.
Sturgis seconds.
Sanchez moves, Surges seconds. Any questions, concerns, comments? Seeing none, Savannah, please do the roll.
Juby,
Juby, I.
Surges,
Yes.
Tepe,
yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes.
That's like NCIS cool stuff.
Resolution is approved. Thank you very much. Moving on to our next resolution, which is 26-027. This resolution is authorizing receipt of the current improvement program grant, and it's in the amount of $10,820. Need a motion and a second on this?
Sanchez
Deputy-
moves.
Deputy moves.
Sanchez moves, Tepe seconds. Any questions, concerns, or comments on this?
Ever turned down any money?
Seeing none, please do the roll, Savannah.
Juby,
Three I.
Surges, Tepe,
Deputy, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes. Resolution's approved. Our next two, which I will do separately per the direction of the state's attorney's office, is a resolution 25-1568. And this resolution is authorizing an intergovernmental agreement with Douglas County for juvenile detention services in the amount of $225 a day for the next 3 years.
Deputy
Need a
moves.
motion and a second on that?
Deputy moves.
Tepe moves,
Sanchez seconds.
Sanchez seconds. Any questions, concerns on this? Seeing none, Savannah, please do the roll on this.
Juby,
Three I.
Surges,
Yes.
Tepe,
Deputy, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes. Resolution's approved. Thank you very much. Moving on to our next resolution, which is 26-028. This resolution is authorizing an intergovernmental agreement with DeWitt County for juvenile detention services, once again in the amount of $225 a day, and this is a 3-year contract. I need a motion and a second on this.
Deputy moves.
Juby seconds.
Tepe moves, Juby seconds. Any questions, comments, concerns on this? Mr. Linder?
We've done a lot of these and I think it's a good thing. They're 3 years in duration, and with what's happening with the cost of food these days, I wonder whether the level pricing for 3 years is wise going on in the future. I don't object to this one, but it may well be that 3 years hence, we're not able to do this for this amount of money.
That's a good point. The 225, excuse me one second, Mr. Surta, the $225 a day charge is an increase from $175 a day for the next 3 years. And at that point, of course, we will reconsider all these contracts. We have, I think, about 19 of them right now with juvenile justice departments in other counties. And they're all at the same amount now of $225 a day. And they're usually a 3-year contract. Any other questions, comments?
So
Mr.
my-
Surges,
I
and
just,
Mr. Roth.
my question to the state's attorneys Mike, to your comments, is there any escalator in there that says, hey, a cost of living, or is this just flat for 3 years and there is no, like, if there's legislation that comes out, is there a, yes, we're allowed to escalate that or no?
Flat.
Sounds like it's flat.
Thank you.
I've not specifically looked at these contracts, but I will tell you they are standard. And you guys have seen these every year almost on like clockwork. I would imagine because of the cyclical nature of these, they account for it, not just with one county, but across all the counties.
Yeah, quite honestly, just to give a little more information on that, at 225, we have a surplus on that per day. Will we in 2 years or 3 years? I don't know, but they're anticipating an increase in both those years, and they feel this amount will cover it. Mr. Roth?
I mean, Roth here, we need to confirm with Lisa Oss, but I think it is renegotiable if costs go way up. And then they will come to the board and we have to approve increase in the rate in a generic, and then they go back and notify each. And that's why we're getting them now. And if they're set to expire, because they're all staggered.
Yes. Well, they are
And
staggered. at
it's
different-
currently bringing in about $8 million a year,
Right.
which offsets a lot of the JJC.
But this $225 a day for 3 years, we are locked into that.
Right.
So at the end of this contract, then of course it can be renegotiated. Any other questions on this? Savannah, please do the roll.
Juby,
Three I.
Surges,
Yes.
Tepe,
Deputy, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes. Resolution is approved. Thank you very much. Our next resolution is 26-003. This resolution is acknowledging annual review of the number of procurement cards issued to the King County Sheriff's Office in each of their transaction limits. This is on page 451. There are 30 P cards that are being approved here. So I need a motion and a second.
Surges.
Surgeon Surges Moose, and Mr. Sanchez seconds. Any questions on this? Seeing none, Savannah, please do the roll on this.
Juby,
Aye.
Sturgis,
Yes.
Tepe,
Tepe, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes. Resolution's approved. Thank you very much. Moving on to our next resolution, which is 26-082. This resolution is authorizing 3 procurement cards issued to the Kane County Division of Transportation and the transaction limits thereof. These 3 cards are listed on page 454. If anyone would like to look at those, I need a motion and a second to approve.
Just moves.
Mr. Sanchez moves. Mr. Sturgis seconds. Any questions, comments, concerns? Seeing none, Savannah, please do the roll.
Juby,
Aye.
Sturgis,
Yes.
Tepe,
Tepe, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes. Resolution is approved. Our next resolution is 26-094. This resolution is authorizing funding for the Village of Big Rock Route 30 Storm Sewer Project under the Cost Share Drainage Program and fee in lieu of detention funding. It's in the amount of $330,000. And I do want to mention on this that there was a federal grant that was approved and given to us in the amount of $1,966,593 for this particular project. Need a motion and a second?
Sturgis moves.
Mr. Sturgis moves.
Tepe seconds.
Mr. Tepe seconds. Any questions, concerns, or comments on this? Seeing none, Savannah, please do the roll.
Juby,
Aye.
Sturgis,
Yes.
Tepe,
Tepe, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes. Resolution's approved. Thank you very much. Our next resolution is 26-111. This resolution is authorizing an emergency appropriation and budget adjustment for the Elgin Satellite Health Department office renovation in the amount of $357,000. This is coming out of the Health Department's fund balance and is not affecting the general fund in any way. I need a motion and a second to approve.
Sturgis.
Sanchez, seconds.
Mr. Sturgis moves, Mr. Sanchez seconds. Any questions on that? Mr. Sturgis?
Bill, I thought we were going to really go out of our way to not use the word emergency.
Well,
I mean, did the
Yeah.
roof cave in? Is there a fire? What's this is just a switch. This is just,
well, it's kind of a switch, but what they forgot to do was budget this in their budget for 26. So in some respects, this is an emergency. However, it's not affecting our general fund at all. It's coming out of their reserve fund. So it's a good
trying
point.
to
and
hold to our spirit. So
We are going to hold to that practice. Any other Ms. Juby?
I have the same concern. A failure to budget is not an emergency, so I'll be voting no on this.
Okay, I understand that, and I appreciate the sentiment that we don't overuse this term emergency, so I accept that and agree with it. Any other questions? Seeing none, Savannah, please do the roll.
Juby,
No.
Sturgis,
yes.
Tepe,
Tepe, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes.
Passes with one.
Resolution's approved. Thank you very much. I thought those were really valid concerns, and we will make sure in the future that unless it truly is an emergency, that term will not be used in resolutions. So thank you all for your concern about that and making sure that we stick to that policy. Our next resolution is resolution number 26-110. This resolution is authorizing a professional service proposal with White and Company for the Elgin Satellite Health Department office renovation design. This is the actual contract that we're going to approve now that the funding is in place. So I need a motion and a second on that.
Sturgis moves.
Sanchez, seconds.
Mr. Sturgis moves, Mr. Sanchez seconds. Any questions on this? Seeing none, Savannah, please do the roll.
Juby,
Aye.
Sturgis,
Yes.
Tepe,
Tepe, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes. Resolution's approved. Thank you very much. And our last resolution is resolution 26-112. This is a resolution authorizing execution of a collective bargaining agreement for the Kane County Health Department. The actual dollar amounts in this are listed on page 521 if anyone wants to review or see those. I need a motion and a second.
Sanchez moves.
Sturgis seconds.
Mr. Sanchez moves, Mr. Surges seconds. Any questions, comments, concerns? Yes, Mr. Surges.
Sorry for all the questions today. In this process, when we do a collective bargaining agreement, is there a committee other than finance that's sitting in on this? Who is like, I know we have a bunch of these.
Mhm.
Is there a committee that's working on all these and this is the end product that's
Yep.
coming for approval?
Yes, there
So,
is.
and so that other committee that has upstreamed this has already approved this?
Yes, in fact, the committee is run by Madam Chair. I'll let her make a few comments if she wants.
Yes, thank you. We seek, council join us with the negotiations. Go into closed session. We speak honestly about this. It is through labor management. Sometimes we agree with what's going on, and sometimes we have a discussion and push it back. So by the time it gets done, it is agreed upon to bring it to the Finance Committee.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Mr. Gripe?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is a proposed contract, right?
This is a contract that the Labor Management Committee approved and moved forward to us to move forward.
That's what I thought. Does it have a dollar sign that goes with it?
A dollar amount for the different
Yeah.
position. Yes, on page 521,
I
if you
apologize.
look at that and go down from there, all the different amounts are
Blair,
listed.
could you pull that up?
It's not having. Just the rates.
So this adds up to how much?
I don't know how many people are in the position, but this is something that is being funded and handled through the Health Department. Oh, Ms. Hopkinson?
Michael's online too. He should have these amounts, but he probably has them to the penny, but the impact over 3 years, it was 120+ thousand for year one, and then 70-something thousand for year two, 70-something thousand for year three, but Michael should have those numbers.
Yeah, that,
Exactly in front of him.
yes, that is correct. And again, this goes back to December of 2024. So we do have makeup with back pay for employees who haven't had a raise for those 2 years.
And is that money already in the budget? Has that already been budgeted backwards?
Michael,
It's
would you like to answer that?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's not budgeted backwards, but we do work with our grant funders to get permission to put it into the grants that we have so that we can pay it. And for employees who have portions of their salary that aren't covered by grants, we have taken that into account to be able to cover it.
I'm going to vote yes for this, but in future, again, we are trying to be much more concise this year in terms of when numbers are coming to us, whether these are in a budget or outside of the budget, as it was presented to this board. So, Michael, love you, but giving us this information without a total as to what the impact is going to be, again, I will move this forward today, but I will throw that caution out for people listening going forward. That documentation should be in these.
Okay. May I clarify, sir? Would you like me to include it in the resolution for future reference?
I would, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that
Okay.
would
Very
be
good.
great.
No, very easy to do. We can do that.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
And in the future, all other resolutions pertaining to these matters, it would be great if you would include the total dollar amount too.
Perfect.
Mr. Roth?
This clarification, it's not out of general funds, right? It's out
No,
of
it is
grant
not.
funds. Okay. And then the other is, we're having to go retroactively backwards. We, as a county, not that we can control it 100%, we should try to avoid having that happen.
Yeah,
know,
we would
the
ideally like to never
Yeah,
have
I mean,
that
I would
happen.
talk to-
However,
That's an incredibly common thing.
And I understand.
There's almost nothing we can do to keep that from happening.
Okay. And that's why I asked. Thank you.
and that's part of the negotiations, but good point, Mr. Roth. Any other questions, concerns, comments? Seeing none, Savannah, please do the roll.
Juby,
Juby, I.
Sturgis,
Yes.
Tepi,
Seppi, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes. Resolution is approved. Thank you very much. Under old business, I don't believe we have anything. I would like a motion for unanimous consent on the reports being placed on file.
Seppi asks for unanimous consent to put reports.
Any
on file.
objection? Mr. Sanchez asks for unanimous consent. No objections. Reports are placed on file. I just have one comment, and that is, Mr. Leffler in his public comments today had mentioned that we need to get working on this budget for 27, which we totally agree. We are planning on having a meeting in order to set an agenda for these talks up in the next 2 weeks with a few of the staff people, and there will be 2 of us on the finance committee attending. I would like to have more, but because of the Open Meetings Act, we can only allow 2 people at a time. But once we get that agenda together, our intention is then to talk to all the elected officials and department heads within the next 2 months, maybe 3 months, to get agreement and approval with them. They have been very cooperative in working with us in the past, and we want to be very cooperative with them. Many of the people have said it's very nice to know where the budget's going to be 6 months ahead of time, because then they can budget for the next year. So I think we're headed in the right direction, and yes, we are taking action immediately on that. Do we have a need for executive session today? Yes, we do. Like a motion and a second to go into executive session.
What's the cost?
Oh, excuse me.
Review of closed session minutes.
To review closed session minutes. Thank you very much. Need a motion and a second on that?
Seppi moves to go into executive session for review of review of
Closed
minutes of closed sessions.
Sanchez, second.
Mr. Tappi, he moved. Mr. Sanchez. Roll call, please.
Juby, I.
Sturgis,
Yes.
Seppi, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes.
All right, those folks online, please accept your invites. A reminder to everybody in the room that has joined digitally, you must exit before we can start. So I have several board members that have joined the Zoom session with their computer in the room. You must exit before we can proceed.
Oh, I don't approve. Automatically.
Hey, Blair.
Yeah.
Is Ms. Bates one of those people? Because she walked away from her that last laptop.
There he is. Okay, two.
To come out and get out of Zoom.
I'm sorry?
Still on Zoom?
Yeah, there are a few people on Zoom and we're trying to get that corrected.
Not Deb Allen.
Oh, that doesn't check, close her out. That just locks it.
Yeah, but I think that person was coming.
But then it boots them for 30 days.
That's fine. It's their Zoom membership.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Alderman Mavis.
Mavis.
All set, Mavis?
Yeah.
Good.
I just had to take too much.
We're